Hello and welcome to the Bankers Tech Talk video series. We are filming on location at Level 39, a fintech accelerator in London. I'm Joy Macknight, Deputy and Technology Editor at The Banker, and I'm joined by Leonard Seelig, who's Managing Director of BABB, which provides peer-to-peer financial services to the microeconomy. Leonard, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
I was going to ask you first, sort of when you think about a decentralized banking system, how do you visualize that?
We visualize that as starting with the blockchain, which by definition is a decentralized ledger system, and we are using that as the primary basis for our approaching a community of people who are spread around the world. So a decentralized community and a decentralized technology, and that's how we put it together. There will be elements. We're going to provide banking services, so there are elements of some level of centralization. It cannot all be on the decentralized basis. We will have a technology that approaches our people, our customers, our potential customers around the world, primarily in the developing markets eventually, through a decentralized technology, blockchain.
Okay, and you're talking about launching an app, the BABB app. How will it work?
So the BABB app will be very simple, easy to use. A potential customer will provide some initial KYC, some identification documents. We have a tiered system of accounts and bank accounts, so they will get certain levels of service depending on the KYC that they provide. We know that in some of our potential markets, documentation is an issue. It can be a real problem for people if they don't have, for example, proof of residence. They might have a ID card issued by a government or something which identifies them as an individual, may not have an address or some sort of residence associated with that. We anticipate being able to get over that by offering various levels of product, some of which will be regulated through banking regulators and a license, some of which will be more like a wallet and won't have that level of regulation. There'll be limited use wallets, basically.
And I know that you've recently done a crowd sale and raised £1.5 million. How difficult was that? What were the challenges you had to overcome? And why did you go down that route?
We are one of the first companies, I believe, who raised their initial funding through an ICO in the crypto and a token market, and then stepped over the line, so to speak, back into the old line way of funding and did a crowd sale. So we had to approach a totally different set of investors. Although ultimately some of our token holders actually invested for the first time ever in equity, real equity. We actually had to approach people who are accustomed to investing in shares and equity and having a legal right in the company that they invest in. That proved a challenge in the beginning because people didn't really understand who we were, what we were doing. A lot of the equity investors have heard about blockchain, have heard about crypto, but don't really know how it all works, didn't know how it affected their particular investment. A lot of explaining we had to go through. But at the end of the day, it was very successful and we're very happy with it. So a good success all around.
And you're part of the Level 39 accelerator programs. What are the benefits that you see in being part of this community?
So a big part of it is being basically surrounded by people who are techies, people who are doing incredible, amazing, wonderful, cool things, some of which I don't understand, frankly, but hey, young people, driven, energetic, who can start out with a single space at a desk and can end up being a very successful company. And so it's being associated with that kind of energy and those kind of people is very helpful for us and our team. Also, there are other companies doing bits and pieces of what we do, trying to do it, and it puts us close to companies that we might end up, in our case, we may very well end up doing something with, having some sort of traditional business arrangement with, because they're doing something really interesting. It's that environment that's helpful.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for your insights, Leonard.
My pleasure.